Uh, yeah. Speaking of like the Marvel movies and everything like that, and kind of how mediocre they are, I've been watching the Hawkeye series
Oh boy.
on Disney Plus, which uh, I'm gonna say I came into it with very high expectations, so maybe that was on me because I love the comic that it is based off of the Hawkeye My Life is a Weapon comic by Matt Fraction with art by David Aja and oh
Aha.
that comic aha that comic is so fantastic and it literally just follows the plot line of what does Hawkeye do when he's not with the Avengers saving the world. And it's so good because it's like picking up like after Hawkeye has gone through like this like really messy divorce and everything like that. And it's full of heart and like comedy and just like fantastic moments and like the art as well is phenomenal. Like it has this cool like 70s like pop art kind of stylization to it and it's so good. And when I was seeing the advertising for the show, I was very excited because it had a lot of like similarities to that art from the comics. But Marvel Studios has not like given credit or paid David Aja for like any of this uh his oh what's it called like likenesses kind of thing like
Yeah.
that and that's pretty friggin' scummy in my eyes. So when I had heard that, I was like, oh, okay, a little bit of chip in my expectations, and then also just the fact that it's Jeremy Renner playing Clint Barton still. Uh, to go off the thing that Luca had said, where they're really good at casting very charismatic people. In some cases,
Not all.
so yeah. Uh, so at time of recording, the first three episodes have been released on Disney Plus, and I will say the first two episodes were rough to get through. Uh, it follows kind of loosely the same stylization. It focuses on Haley Steinfeld's character of Kate Bishop, who in the comics becomes this younger Hawkeye who is really cool. I really enjoy her in the comics, and I love Haley Steinfeld as an actor, and she's acting her ass off in this show. Like it feels like it's her show, like almost so much that like the opening title sequence in the first episode uh showcases her growth into like who she is, and it's set around Christmas time, and so it's nice, has like that holiday festive cheer to it. And then you got Jeremy Renner, who is just a blank board, just stone faced the entire time, looking like he's cashing that paycheck and gonna go like
Fund
do
his
whatever.
Jeremy Renner app.
Yeah, and
It's an
his
app.
shady
Yeah.
exploits. God,
His
yeah,
app
and
is
it's
just
just
like social media where only he can post. It's wild.
yeah, it's Jeremy Renner's Instagram, but only Jeremy Renner
But
can
locked
have
behind
it.
a paywall.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh my
Yeah.
God, yeah. So
Anyway,
yeah, he's just wooden and like coming from reading the comic where that Hawkeye is so charismatic and funny and like caring about everyone, and like having this Clint Barton where he only cares about his family and not even like the lives of like people that he has endangered when he was running around as Ronin, like for the 5 years, just kind of going like kind of on like a racist manhunt, just like
yeah.
taking down the Japanese Yakuza. They touch on that like slightly, where like he's at like a Japanese restaurant with his family, and like the owner is like, "Hey, thanks for this. Like your dinner's on us," and he's like, "Oh," and like you see him like guilty because he's an asshole. But yeah, it's just yeah, the and there's a sequence in, I think it's the second episode, where he's trying to get this, like, the whole story is they're on the hunt for the Ronin costume because Haley Steinfeld, Kate Bishop, is being followed by this Russian mob kind of thing, because she wore this the Ronin costume. So it's now tied to her, so they're after her. So at one point there's this LARPing like episode kind of thing where I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be fun. And it's just Jeremy Renner kind of making fun of nerds the entire time, just going like, what? They're so violent. And it's just, it's rough the entire time. And
Oh man.
yeah, so yeah, this leads me to my question for you guys. It's, when has something like that you were really looking forward to that like had source material beforehand, like led into